When you look at the Danish royal family, you cannot help but think that sometimes fate writes stories better than any screenwriter. In the early 2000s, two people met in Sydney who were destined to change each other's lives: Australian Mary Donaldson and Danish Prince Frederik. A regular evening in a bar during the Olympics became the beginning of a love story that later brought Mary to the royal court and gave the world their four children. Among them is Princess Josephine, who is now confidently stepping out of the shadow of her older siblings and gradually revealing her own character and style. On the 8th of January 2011, the Danish royal family experienced double happiness. First, Prince Vincent was born, and half an hour later, his twin sister Josephine arrived. I remember how Prince Frederik, who was not yet king at the time, announced the birth of the healthy babies with shining eyes. And you know what I have always admired in Danish tradition? They keep the names of newborn royal children secret until the christening. It creates a special atmosphere of anticipation, adding mystery and significance to the moment of naming. And when the little girl was christened 3 months later at Holman's church, it turned out that her full name was a true family treasure. Josephine was chosen in honor of a close friend of Queen Mary. Sophia is a classic royal name, but then things get even more interesting. Ivalo is a Greenlandic name of indigenous origin, meaning thread, symbolizing strength and endurance. And Matilda, in the Danish spelling, is a gentle nod to Australia, Queen Mary's homeland, where Waltzing Matilda is considered an unofficial anthem. So in this one small person, 3 cultures are intertwined: Danish, Greenlandic, and Australian. Queen Mary, despite all her years living in cold Denmark, has never forgotten sunny Australia. And you can feel that in how often she returns to her homeland with her children. Princess Josephine first set foot on Australian soil when she was only 10 months old. Imagine that, a tiny princess on an official visit. At first, she spent a week with her father and brother in Sydney, Melbourne, and Canberra. And then the older children joined them, and the whole family went to Hobart, Mary's hometown. It was not just a royal tour, it was a homecoming. Since then, Christmas holidays in Australia have become a true tradition for the Danish royal children. In December 2022, the royal family shared a photograph from Tasmania on Instagram where the whole family was smiling against a summer landscape. The caption said something like, "There is no frost and no bare trees here, only summer and warm weather." And you know, I think it is brilliant, giving children the chance to grow up in 2 worlds, to learn 2 completely different cultures, to feel connected to both of their parents' homelands. But do not think that Princess Josephine's life is only about formal events and royal receptions. This girl is a real athlete with an incredible spirit. In 2015, when she was only 4 years old, she fell from a horse during a riding lesson and broke her arm. You would think such a trauma and stress would slow her down, but no. Just a few days later, Josephine appeared at an equestrian parade with a cast up to her elbow and waved cheerfully to the crowd as if nothing had happened. That is what I call true royal resilience. But the princess's biggest sporting passion is tennis. King Frederik, as is well known, is a great lover of the sport, regularly attending Wimbledon, and this passion has spread to the whole family. Queen Mary once joked on social media, "My husband's love for tennis has passed on to all of us." And indeed, in 2019, 8-year-old Josephine was photographed with young Danish tennis player Holger Rune, and you could clearly see from her face how much she adores the sport. And in 2020, Queen Mary personally filmed a video of the twins playing tennis at Groston Palace. Moments like these show that behind royal titles lie the most ordinary family joys. In 2025, Princess Josephine truly surprised everyone by taking part in the Royal Run, an event founded by King Frederik himself. But she did not simply run the symbolic mile. No, this 14-year-old girl took part in 3 races in a row: the mile, the 5-kilometer run, and the 10-kilometer run. Honestly, when I learned about this, I was astonished. That is serious physical strain, even for a trained adult. Yet she handled it. That is genuine Danish royal grit. Princess Josephine's education also deserves attention because it shows her independence and her readiness to choose her own path. In 2017, she began attending a regular public school, Skolen, together with her twin brother. It seemed everything was going according to plan, but in 2023, she made an unexpected decision to transfer to a private school, Kildegård Privatskolen, founded back in 1870 specifically for girls. This school prides itself on preparing students for the future, offering a well-rounded education. However, she did not stay there long either. In 2025, the 14-year-old princess made a true breakthrough in Danish royal tradition. She became the first young member of the royal family to go to a boarding school. And not just any boarding school. This one focuses not only on academics, but also on emotional development, including gastronomy, dance, drama, and sports in the curriculum. I think this is a very brave decision, even for a princess. It shows that Josephine is already thinking about her future and wants to grow in many different directions. After King Frederik ascended the throne in January 2024, the whole family's life changed. Public attention increased, and Josephine began appearing at official events more often. In the summer of 2024, the 13-year-old princess traveled to Greenland with her brother, where they not only attended receptions, but also played football with local children, took part in runs, and even helped scientists set up microphones for recording whale sounds. And in June 2025, Josephine traveled without her brother to the Faroe Islands, accompanying her parents and attending important meetings in Parliament. You can see how she is gradually growing into her role, learning to be in the public eye, to communicate with people, to represent her country. Princess Josephine is currently fourth in the line of succession to the Danish throne after her older brother Christian, her sister Isabella, and her twin brother Vincent. This means the chances of her ever becoming queen are extremely small. But you know what? I think this gives her tremendous freedom. Professor of Danish history Jess Fabricis Muller predicted back in 2011 that the twins would be able to build their lives as they wish, choosing careers according to their abilities and interests. The only limitation is that they will always remain members of the royal family, and their actions will always be visible. And this is what truly impresses me about the Danish royal family's approach. They do not try to turn Josephine into a perfect etiquette book princess. They allow her to fall off horses and get back in the saddle, to run long-distance races, to go off to boarding school far from home, to swap clothes with her mother, to walk with friends without security. They give her room to be herself, to develop her talents, to make mistakes and learn from them. At the same time, she takes part in official events, learns about her parents' work, and understands her responsibility. There is clearly a special bond between Josephine and her parents. Queen Mary often talks about how much time the children spend outdoors, how much they enjoy fresh air and physical activity. And King Frederik is clearly proud of his daughter's athletic achievements. When you look at their photographs together, you see not just official portraits, but a real family, full of warmth, humor, and mutual support. They travel together, run together, play tennis together, and it is wonderful. What awaits Princess Josephine in the future? Honestly, it is hard to even imagine, because all doors are open before her. She could become a diplomat, an athlete, a scientist, an entrepreneur, anything she wants. The most important thing is that she has a strong foundation, a loving family, an excellent education, an understanding of responsibility, physical endurance, and most importantly, the freedom to choose her own path.